Man. Amandla! Cishe ngathi siyakhona. Amandla! Hey, akanizwa uCyril Ramaphosa. Amandla! Mayibuye Afrika, mayibuye! Mawubuye umnotho weAfrika, mawubuye. Long live the spirit of Comrade Mambush, long live. Long live the spirit of Marikana 34, long live. Amandla! Qina msebenzi, qina! Andimesane ndisho ndithi all protocol observed ngenxa yexesha. Izipishi uyazilungisa uzilungise ekugqibeleni gcina ungasafikanga nakuzona. Ngifuna nje ukuthi ndithi kuni basebenzi uThixo usesekhona. Ndisho kuni bomama ndithi uThixo usesekhona. We are gathered here with our prayers and our thoughts for radical revolution of values in South Africa. Apart from everything that we need, not what we want, we need a radical revolution of values. Until such time we arrived at that point where we'll achieve the radical revolution of the values, there is nowhere we are going. We pray for something new that will happen, for the new leaders, a new system that will change the lives of God's people. Jericho Road has to be transformed. Jericho Road should be transformed and be safe. South Africa is not different like Jericho Road, whereby people were traveling in that road and were killed, were robbed. In South Africa is the same as if we are traveling in that particular road in Jericho according to the scripture. Jericho Road has to be transformed for our women and our children to travel safely without any fear that they could be raped and maimed. And we cannot achieve that unless we change the system. The worst foreign direct investors or investment in Africa, they are putting more money. That money is to loot the mineral that's supposed to benefit us as South Africans. They've got no regards of social upliftment of the communities. South African government is spending billions of social grants just to put the people of South Africa in the dark just to confine people to be their slaves, to vote them to power, to create a state that is dependent on politicians. Instead of coming with a program, a social program that will uplift the South Africans. We can have all investment in the world, but without radical revolution of values, we are going nowhere. In South Africa, we had the first democratic president. May his soul rest in peace. We had the first democratic president, who was Nelson Rolihlahla Madiba Mandela, who was the president who was jailed for 27 years. I just want to count all kinds of presidents that we had in this country. The second president was the President Thabo Mbeki, who was regarded as a learned president. The third president we had was Babu Jacob Zuma, who was regarded as not educated as myself. The fourth president we had the president that is a multi-billionaire. But all this president hasn't changed the life of a black child in South Africa. We need a president that has a compassion. And such president can be appointed by God. The God that will touch the minds and the souls of the South Africans, and to open their eyes and their conscience to be able to elect the president that will have compassion. The president, when the woman is raped, he's not going to sleep in his house. He will go and find out what has happened. I've been criticized for taking a stand for the living wage. I've been vilified by those who are called themselves scholars. I've been criticized by those who are called themselves philosophers for taking a stand for the living wage, to fight for the living wage for the downtrodden. And I'm not disappointed about that. We can have civil rights. We can have the rights that you can go and vote. But what is the right? What is a civil right without the economic rights? When I read the book of Exodus, chapter 12, hallelujah. When I read the book of Exodus, chapter 12, it talks about Egypt. It talks about the children of Israelites. It talks about Moses. When Moses speaks to the Israelites, he said, now is the time to leave. And they went to Pharaoh and said, Pharaoh, we are going to the promised land, but we are not going to leave Egypt without gold, without silver, without food, without clothes. The question is, when the ANC leave the apartheid government, Nationalist Party, what did they take? What did they take with them? Did they take gold? Did they take silver? Or they just take a political positions? Did you hear what I've just said? Let me repeat myself. In the book of Exodus, there was this man called Moses. He told Pharaoh that we are leaving. We are going to the land of promise. But we are not going to leave Egypt without gold, silver, clothes, and food. The question is, when the politicians leave the apartheid regime, ushering to 1994, for the promised land. What did they have in their hands? They only had what? Political positions without nothing in their hands. That's why the mines are still owned by Neil Froneman. That's why the mines are still owned by Anglo-American. That's why the mines are still owned by De Beers. That's why the mines are still owned by Glencore. Because when we leave apartheid, we took nothing. In our head was just political power and political position. And now the question is, how are we going to survive when we left the world behind to the white hands? The genesis of the social illnesses of South Africa derived from the mineral energy complex. We are in this status of life. We are in this status of social discourse. It's just because of mineral energy complex. Since from 1800, when they discovered, because always the West and the European, when they come to Africa, they discover. Did you hear what I just said? They always discover. As if there was no people living in this country, as if there was no one living in this continent. Always when they come, we discovered gold. We discovered diamond. Come on. We discovered black people. I'm not discovered. I'm not discovered. They discovered their puppets who are their presidents. They've never discovered me. I'm not chained. I'm not going to allow any race to be dominant on top of a black people. Wherever I'm leading as the AMCU president, my constituency, I will make sure we undermine the white power in our hands. I owe nobody apology. I'm not fed by them. Angijanga qathala mntu. I don't owe them anything. They owe us Africans. They owe us our wealth. They owe us our land. They've been to power. They are politicians in the parliament. More than what? 50 political parties. But they cannot return land to the rightful owners. I think that parliament must be disbanded. They must come back here. Let's get a new leaders that will go and take what belongs to us and bring back to us. The time of promises is over. Mineral energy complex, as I've said earlier on, is a genesis of all social ills in South Africa. Disposition of land has caused by mineral energy complex. Taxations that were structured for black people was caused by the very same mineral energy complex to make or to use black people to be the cannon folder for these mines. Kwafaka bokhanda mpondo ukuthi sifoswe sizosebenza emgodini abotata bethu. It is the nature of the mineral energy complex to kill. As I read the book of John chapter 10 verse 10, the thief's only intention is to steal, destroy and kill as they did here in Marikana in this day. I don't understand. Even the learned, the graduate, the professors, they still saying to the thieves are investors. foreign direct investment, foreign directives. Did you hear that one? There is nothing called foreign direct investors or investment. It's foreign directives. Gamasela. Bathetha ngezamazama, izamazama yokuqala yafika ngo-1652. Abayibonanga ukuthi izamazama, babona leya manje, lena isizamazama is just crime. The real zamazama ile yafika ngo-1652. The real zamazama ile nethi yadiscover i-gold ngo-1800. That's the real zamazama. Our struggle should be channeled to mineral energy complex. Even during apartheid years, in day immemorial, no government has led the country. The control of the country lies with the mineral energy complex. Even when you go back to 1922, in the Rand Revolt, the same thing has happened, where the employer was pitting a white employees against the black employees. Jan Smart unleashed the lethal weapon against the workers. As they did, the sitting state president unleashed the lethal weapons against its own people. So what's the difference? We had Sharpeville Massacre. We had Langa Massacre. Today we've got Nyobeni Massacre. We had Phoenix Massacre. How many people were arrested in Phoenix? No one. How many people have been arrested in Marikana? No one. When there was the Sharpeville Massacre, it was quick for the Nationalist Party, for the foreign direct investors, to bring sanction in South Africa. The question is, what's the difference between Sharpeville Massacre and Marikana Massacre? Why the West? Why the international community is so quiet? Why did not unleash the sanctions against the African National Congress government? You must ask that question. Comrade, bomama, igazi lotata benu lisakhala naphansi, lisathetha nangoku, angeke futhi liyeke ukuthetha. Bebangacingi ukuthi uzawufika lo mhla ukuthi sesina 10 years. And what is humbling us, or what can I say, what pride us? This commemoration from 2013, we were never sponsored by white monopoly capital. We kept this commemoration by ourselves as AMCU, to show them that thina bantu singazenzela into zethu. They are talking about Marikana renewal. Neil Froneman has bought some clergy people instead of going and preach and convert sinners and convert rapists. But they were lobbied by Neil Froneman to come and walk around here, whether it was for atonement or for whatsoever, I don't know. But I'm still saying, if Neil Froneman is talking about the renewal, I don't know which renewal, whether he still want another massacre, because the 2018 and 2019, the second massacre that he was planning at the gold sector at Sibanye failed. If there is a renewal in a true sense, in a correct context, abomama bagoduke baye emakhaya ababhadala until pensionable age, then sizambona ukuthi unenyani. The same Neil Froneman who's claiming for a renewal for the Marikana, when he acquired Loan Min, the first employees that he targeted was the very same women who were in the list of retrenchment. The question is, if he has retrenched them, which renewal he will be talking about today? He's got a silver tongue. He's a hypocrite. If AMCU was not here, AMCU yaingekho apha, ngaba abomama bekho namhlanje apha. I thank the members of AMCU for your steadfastness, being a loyal member of AMCU. Even though we are facing many challenges, the government unleashing his wrath upon us to deregister AMCU, but you steadfast. Even the Zondo Commission confirmed that the state had some resources to form WOW to destabilize AMCU using some of our members within the organization, but they failed because of your steadfastness. Amandla! Comrade, we talk about unemployment in South Africa. This unemployment is self-inflicted. As long we don't change the trade agreement of this country, we are still going to experience more discourse. 2017, we marched to Union Building and we hand over the memorandum. One of the demands was saying the export material of South Africa should be 60-40. 60 for export and 40 to remain inland, to encourage industrialization and beneficiation. They haven't answered that question. AMCU spoke about education when it was not fashionable to talk about education. Yes, there was a fees must fall, which was correct. But AMCU was not talking about fees must fall. Because when you are saying fees must fall, we are saying continue with this poisonous education curriculum, but don't make us pay for it. AMCU was saying change the curriculum. You see, there is different. We were fighting to change the curriculum. In my statement in 2015, I said to the Minister of Education, close all the universities until each university can produce a graduate, an engineer that can make cells for batteries, that can beneficiate this platinum. Because these universities are useless. They want just to perpetuate the agenda of the colonial. If this education is not useless, why do you have so many graduates sitting at home? This education is not responsive to the global demands in terms of skills. The only education that they give in the university, if you are a mine engineer, they are teaching you how to extract minerals. In this university, they don't teach you how to beneficiate the minerals. But when you go to Europe, you'll find their university are teaching their students how to beneficiate the minerals from Africa. Amandla. Kuyena msebenzi qina. Awuthi ngukwatise futhi. Awuthi ngukwatise. Love them or hate them, the Afrikaners. Love them or hate them, the Afrikaners. but they gave us the country that was functional. Amabhunu sathatha izwe lisebenza, a functional state. In as much as the Nationalist Party was cruel to humanity, but they left us with a functioning state. Where is the railway today? Where is the SAA today? Where is the healthcare system today? Even though during the apartheid, there was a board says white only and blacks only. But whenever you enter that door, which is written black, you'll get a service, you will get, you will get all the medication that you want. Today, there's no white or black, but there's no service. Because when they left Egypt, which was a Nationalist Party government, they took no gold, they took no silver, they only took the political position in their head without anything that they can give to the nation. Amandla! Qina msebenzi qina! AMCU spoke about the constitution of this country, where everyone was still sleeping in the parliament, where people, they see no reason to amend the constitution of this country. Joseph Mathunjwa stood up and spoke about this constitution. The elephant in the room is the constitution of the country called South Africa. The best constitution in the world. But poor are poor, people are poor as the mouse church. Amandla. Until such time, we tear this constitution and write our own constitution that will embrace our culture, that will embrace our norms, that will embrace our values. Because this constitution has changed us to be like zombies. Until such time, we tear down this constitution. This constitution is enslaving us. This constitution is making the same colonizers to have power to the people who are the majority of the country. Thina ngesintu sakuthi asikwazi ukurape. Sithi thina ngesintu sakithi ubuntu ngubuntu, umuntu ngabantu. Kodwa le constitution ayisho leyo nto leyo. Izifundiswa ziyafunda zifunda iconstitution, iBhayibheli lokusicindezela for the next generation. Always when you talk, the constitution says this, the constitution. No, ihla kasena say ekhaya, utata kasena say, iconstitution seyiphenduka abotata emakhaya. Ushaya ingane kuthiwa ilungelo lengane. Kususwa uThixo ezikolweni kwafaka uSathane. Ziyabulalana izingane ngalesa sikhathi kusesekhona iassembly ezikolweni. Abontanga yami bese ngakwazi ukuthi omunye student ubulala esinye student. Bese ngayazi siqale ngesikhathi seconstitution. Amandla. Qina msebenzi qina. Le constitution yale country iyona ekhipha amakhehla aju for retirement lapha eParliament. At the workplace at the age of 63 we are retrenched or we are pensioned. Why a parliament kunabantu abanabo 80 years, 85 years, but they are employed by us? We are their employers. We should put a threshold to say once you are above 65, you are pensionable. Go home and play with your grandchildren. Amandla. Amandla. Qina msebenzi qina. Mayibuye Afrika mayibuye. Mayibuye Afrika mayibuye. Mayibuye Afrika mayibuye. I see that DA is spending much energy on the former state president, Babu Jacob Zuma. 80 years old man, a revolutionarist. Yes, he had his own mistakes in life like anyone, like me, like you. But I have never seen a nationalist party minister who's alive today with all the atrocities against the black people being pushed to the jail at this age. Why Jacob Zuma? We need to go and ask that question. Sizoingena le ndaba nathi, singekho kupolitiki. Sizoingena le ndaba. Amasala, imatrasi yami, umatrasi wami. Umatrasi wami unamadradi, uzuyandihlaba. Khona abantu amatrasi wabo unezidola. Kodwa, there is nothing wrong about that. Huh? Abantu abangenama credentials in the struggle of our country. Yilaba abachushiswayo. Sisazobuza nathi, not because uBaba Zuma kenzanga amaphutha in life, but because he's black. And not because he's black, but because he contributed to the struggle. We are not saying he must not face what he's supposed to face, but not in the way that they are doing. They are too personal now. It's too political. Comrade, let me say this in closing. Oh, not in closing. I still got this one. I haven't opened this one. Comrade, we as South African, we as South African, as long as we see evil through the racial lens, we are far from liberating ourselves. Asendibethe ngesizulu. Thina abomsinsi okuzimilela apha eAfrika. Thina ama South Africans. Uma sisabona ububi ngokwebala sisesekude nokuthi sizikhulule. Ngoba uma ngabe iapartheid njengoba iapartheid yabulala abantu eSharpeville kwasukuma iSouth Africa yonke. Kutheni makubulawa abantu eMarikana iSouth Africa ingaphakami yonke? And the reason is simple, because we only see evil when it's committed by white person, by white government. But when the evil is committed by black government, we see no reason to uprise. Comrade, it was this day when I was kneeling somewhere right there at the back. I was wearing the same jacket. Kwakulo suku lwanamhlanje. Ngiguqa phansi kwelinye ilitshe phaya. Lapho ngangiguqa khona phansi. Ngangigqoke yona le jacket engiyigqokile ngomhla ka-16 waka August 2012. Ngangifake lona le bhruku engiligqokile namhlanje ngo-2012. I was wearing the same jacket in 2012 August. Ndandiguqe phaya. Uma ndisuka phaya ndithola umbombo. Athi yena ugqibile is a dead day today. Ephethe enye into ekhanyayo nibiza ngokuthiwa ni torch bearer. Yayihanjiswa yonke indawo ndeza ndafika ndathola omunye uNaidu bathi Commissioner Naidu ndathi hayibo asiyikhuzeni lento lapho bebangasafuna umuntu odlulelayo ndathi nikezeni ithuba ndiyothetha nabasebenzi ndathola omunye wejournalist ye-AMCU kwathiwa uXola Mgambi ngathi Xola Mgambi wabuza wathi kwenzakalani mangameli ngathi isigqibo sithathiwe lo rhulumente nolonmini uzobabulala labasebenzi kwakungena security eduze komuntu phaya iphoyisa lalikhona lalilindele ukuzobulala abantu bakubo kwathiwa usadluleli phaya mntaka Mathunjwa ngathi ndiyadlula ndiyaphaya ndiyothetha nabo wabuza uMxoli Mgambi wathi phofu makunjena kwenzakalani ngathi umphefumulo wabo sosezandleni zikaThixo ayisekho into endizawuyenza isigqibo sesithathiwe lo rhulumente is gonna kill these workers I can see clearly ndithemba ndifika phaya ndithola oXolani ndithola uComrade Nadu oComrade Pule endisabakhumbula oComrade Bele nabanye sebadlula emhlabeni ndafike ndaguqa kubona ngatsho ngathi toza kuthi kugqityiwe ngani sukani kule ntaba lamadoda azonibulala the life of the black man in Africa is cheap they will kill you and replace you you are just a number let's leave this mountain uma ndithetha lashintsha izulu sakhumbula Xolani kwakhuphuka ilifa elimnyama lakhuphuka latsho lathi okhona ngathi into zakuthi bukani siyashintsha umoya phezulu siyashintsha isibhakabhaka neuzo lomoya ozayo ukuthi kwenzeka ntoni niyalibona lela lifu lithetha into asisukeni apha sambeni into zakuthi zasuma insizwa zathi omambushi bathi mntaka Mathunjwa president goduka singeke sawahlasela amaphoyisa we will never attack the police we will stay here we will wait for our employer to tell us when are we going to receive our 12,500 ndayithatha imoto mawusakhumbula kahle Xolani ndathi kuyidonsa ndaphinde ndehla ndabuyela kuni ngathi hayi madoda agodukwe nathini kumi nathi hamba ngoba uma bakubulala no one will tell the truth ndithema ndijikela kule ntaba hayi solo ndazalwa ngikaze ndizibone izibhamu ezingalolu hlobo ndathi ndiyadlula kwathiwa wow stop phindele emuva Jini bethuna ezazinto ngathi zazidle enye into engingayazi zazi ngathi ziphithene emakhanda ndisatsho namanje ukube mandifonela iLoanMin one of the management kuba ifoni yaba engaged kwangabi khona umuntu oyithathayo nami ngabe ndabalelwa apha enye indoda yayibamba ifoni yathi nithetha ngani bathi kunendoda ezibiza uMathunjwa apha singayidedela idlule na kwathiwa hayi makuMathunjwa mdedelena adlule kwaba ukusinda kwami kulesi helekhu sa apha ndithenda ingakenqi phaya naboChauke naboJumbo singakenqi le railway line kwangena ifone call eyi1 yaphinde yacima yathi siyafa zathi imbumbulu yini into efundiwe emva kwaloko yini into efundiwe akukhona into eyodwa efundiwe kusithathe another 5-month strike to fight for 12,500 ngobani umbuso uphethwe izimayini let me tell you There is no political party in the parliament. Even our beloved African National Congress is not in control of the country. The country is controlled by mineral energy complex. Abaphethe izimine ibona abaphethe izwe. From 1800, when they discovered gold and diamond, even during Nationalist Party, i-National Party yayingaphathanga i-government yayiphethwe i-Chamber of Mine. So that's why there will be no reparation. That's why there will be no one who's going to be arrested. When you talk about state capture, nilokhu nisibangela umsindo ngeGupta, nilokhu nisibangela umsindo ngoZuma nge-state capture, nisaba belungu, nisaba uNeil Froneman. We are afraid of the whites, the really captures, the foreign direct investors. Those are the real captures of South African people. When workers were massacred here, AIDC, through Comrade Brian, they've done a study of illicit financial flow. We find out ukuthi i-loan mean yayi-register ama-company overseas in a safe haven, where there is only a post box, where there is no one, where they were paying over 200 million per month. And that information, we gave it to the South African government and to the parliament. What did they do with that information? Nothing. Then the question, who is captured? If we really want to know who has captured South Africa, I challenge the parliamentarian to call the Commission on Illicit Financial Flows. Don't tell me about Gupta, man. Don't tell me about 9 wasted years. Tell me about illicit financial flows in this country. If they are real, true revolutionaries who are in this parliament, let them establish a commission that will check this mind. Abafake i-commission ezobheka izimali ezitshontshwa yilezi mayini la eSouth Africa. Then uzobona ukuthi who are the real state captures. How can you allow one man to earn 2,000 rand per minute? That is Neil Froneman. 360 million per year. Which country are we living in? Do we have politicians, real politicians, that do all of this? Ake nisiboleke le ihlangu zenu thina. Ake nisiboleke le ihlangu zenu. Ke singene efieldini madoda sifiti thina. Ayi thina sifiti man. Ayi sifiti. Ake nisinikezeni le ihlangu zenu. Ake sihambe soshaya square ball lapha yana. No. Indoda eyodwa ihola 360 million. Ngonyaka owodwa ihluleka ukunikeza abasebenzi about 30,000, 1,000 rand, which is less than a billion rand. Kuma minerals e country yethu esithi sikhululekile. We voted to be democratically colonized. Yilento siyivotele. Uma uNeil Froneman akwazi ukuhola 360 million. Mawuthi uyangena eMarikana, look the squalor where people are they living. More than 20,000 workers of loan mean they are still staying in the informal settlement. Bahlala emkhukwini. We are calling to this government to cap the salaries of the CEOs in the mine. Ayiki CEO efanele ihola ukudlula president we country. If they are really in power, they must cap the salaries of the CEO. No CEO that should earn more than the state president of the country. Finish and clear. 2, if you want to address the unemployment in this country. Take the license of each and every mine which is in mothballing. Is mine ezivaliwe kuthiwa zenza profit, ayithathwa ilicense inikezwa abantu abamnyama bavule imisebenzi. 3, there is a government yethu, if it's in control, there shouldn't be any mine or any company who will open a shaft with their license without developing the community first. Hospital must be there, university must be there, high school must be there, primary school must be there, crashes must be there, and tar road and all the facilities, the infrastructure for that community. If they come to your area and want to open a shaft without, go and build your house in that particular ground until such time they develop the community. That is how we are going to address this inequality in this country. Amandla. Qina msebenzi qina. Mayibuye Afrika mayibuye. Amandla. Qina msebenzi qina. Kukhona enye indoda okuthiwa uGungi wayiThongo. He once said, the true seeker of truth, open quote, the true seeker of truth never loses hope. The true seeker of real justice never tires. A farmer does not stop planting seed just because of the failure of one crop. Success is born of trying and trying again. Truth must seek justice. Justice must seek the truth. When justice triumphs, truth will reign on earth. Close quote. Comrade, siapha kule ntaba namhlanje. Lithi Bible, this is the day that the Lord has made, but to rejoice. But this one is not the day that was made by the Lord. This is the day that was made by our government to come and grieve. The Marikana massacre shouldn't be commercialized, as I see. Our brothers and our fathers, they never came to Kopi Mountain to be killed and then to be compensated. We want justice now, not tomorrow. Stop commercializing Marikana massacre. Many people are rich because of Marikana massacre. Many people, they've made books. They are writing books. They are making all sorts of things. But no one has contributed anything tangible to these families. Because Marikana has been commercialized. Abomama sebayinto ngathi circus. Bafakwa ezimotweni bayiswe indaweni bayobukiswa ngabo ngazuthi iBoswell circus. You must say no to that. Claim your dignity back. Loku nifakwa ezimotweni niswa phansi phezulu niloku nibukiswa nishuthi izithombe kukhonjiswa manje phe kuyaqala ukubonakala abantu abashonelwe ngaphandle kwenu. Banenzeleni. Bayakwazi ukuthi ulala kuphi. If it was not AMCU, ngabe we don't have a shelter. AMCU has brought dignity to you. Don't allow your grief to be a what? A benefit to other people. They are using you. They are using your grief. They are using your pain for their own selfish, narrow interest. Because the life of a black man in Africa is cheap. Sithi kusibanye, this year, Our demand, a basic salary, is 20,000 rand. Asidali. We have long past 12,500. City, we have long past 12,500. Neil Froneman cannot come and claim easy victory. The money that we are earning today was through the blood of our brothers, was through the 5-month strike. Yena simlindile. If he can pay himself 360 million per year, surely can pay you a basic salary of 20,000 rand per month. Qina msebenzi qina. Asijiki. Asijiki. Mayibuye Africa, mayibuye. Comrade Mambush and the comrades of Marikana 34, we have passed 12,500. Sesidlulile ku 12,500. Sithi kuwe, the government led by Honorable Cyril Ramaphosa has not come and apologized to your wife and to your wives, even today. We are saying, Comrade Mambush and the Marikana 34 or Marikana 44, we will fight to make sure that 16 August is a working day in South Africa. We will fight for this day. We will never rest. We will picket. We will march. We will strike to make sure that 16th of August is a public day, is a workers' day for the South African working class. City is 16th August. Siyolilwela lelilanga. Siyolilwela lelilanga. Ukuthi libe ilanga labasebenzi eSouth Africa. Yes, we recognize the 1st of May, but that was American history for their own minds. Workers that were killed, we are in solidarity with them. But now we've got our own massacre from our own liberators. So therefore, the 16th of August must be declared as a public workers' day in South Africa. Comrade, ixesha lihambile. Kodwa ukuhamba kwexesha akusho ukuthi masingathethi. Thina basebenzi basezimayini, we are facing massacre year in, year out. If you look, if you check, uma ubheka lezi mine ukuthi ngonyaka imine eyodwa ibulala abasebenzi abangaki, uzobona ukuthi this country every year there is a massacre. If the Mine Health and Safety Act has power, we are saying to the Minister of Police, Honorable Babu Bheki Cele, in terms of Mine Health and Safety Act, Section 72 has been issued. Neil Froneman must be arrested for the workers that were killed at Driefontein in 2018. Section 72 iti amandla ku DMR ku issue incwadi yokuthi iCOO mayitholakale ukuthi ineqala mayiboshwe. Sithike babucele siyacela ukuthi uthathe iTRT amabherede lawa bulala abasebenzi lana ukuthi makaye ku Froneman ayombopha ayekele ubaba uZuma athatha uFroneman obulela abasebenzi ithi section 72 makaboshwe. Then sizobona ukuthi sinohulumente osebenzayo ongabopha abantu abamnyama kuphela kodwa obopha nabelungu. Uma this government can go and arrest Neil Froneman, I will come and apologize and say I was wrong that this government is run by Mineral Energy Complex. I will call the media and apologize. Uma, this government can arrest Neil Froneman in terms of mine health and safety, section 72. Then I will come back and apologize to say, no, niwaphetha manje parliament. Kodwa maningakambophi uFroneman in terms of Mine Health and Safety Act, section 72, amandla wekho kini, amandla noFroneman. Comrade, we still got 3 mine workers. We still got 3 members of the family who are still trapped at Lily Mine. Akekho upresident engambhalelanga. Akekho uminister engambhalelanga. I've written to the former state president, Bob Jacob Zuma. I've written to Msebenzi Zwane, former minister of the MRE. I have written to the current sitting president, Bob Ramaphosa, to declare Lily Mine as a national disaster, to put money to retrieve that container, and to bring peace and closure to the family. Even today, nothing has happened. I've written to Babu Kwete Mantashe, the current sitting minister of the MRE, to ask him to use these monies, which is meant for rehabilitation of the mine, to just assist to retrieve that container, to bring closure to the families. Still nothing has happened. But they are claiming they are carrying government. But I'm telling you, if those workers was Mr. Kukemur and Mr. Jones and Mr. Kobas, I'm telling you, they will be long being retrieved underground. But because it's a life of a black person in Africa is cheap, it's just a number that is trapped. That is not a human being. Comrade, can I appeal to you? I made this appeal. We can retrieve that container ourselves as members of AMCU. Angiphinde futhi. Abasebenzi laba. Ngithi thina siyi-AMCU. Singayenza imali. Siyokhipha leya container lapha. Ngeke siyenze, comrade. Angizwa. 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 Ngifuna bezwe union building ukuthi singazenzela lento. Ngithi izimember ze-AMCU ingasihlula leya container ukuyoyilanda na. Nithi siyenze njani ke comrades? Shayina imali sihambe siyoyifuna le container. Masishayina imali siyofuna le container. Uma nisho njalo ithini yes, 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 yes. Sithi-ke kusukela namhlanje, General Secretary, write to Babu Kwete Mantashe to give us a permission to go and get that container. Sizobalanda bafowethu. We don't need a white monopoly capital. We'll do it ourselves as black because we want to bring dignity to us. Sesigqibile leya selili mine. Siyambhalela uTata uGwede Mantashe. Siyoyilanda leya container. We are going there. Sicela ukuthi all these scavengers, these hyenas, as is disturbed to set aside. And always when I refer to whites, not that I'm referring just to white in general, for those that have got this capitalist DNA, that they've got no regard to other lives of other people. Comrade GS, you know that we are going to get that container. We must come back next year and report that the container is out. That's what we have to come and report. To show ukuthi sizozenzela. Singabantu base-Afrika. Sizozenzela thina. But uma siqeda ukuzenzela, leya mine mayionwe ngabahlali baselili mine. Let them take full control of that mine. That valley and that mine must be owned by the people of Lily Mine. Comrade, AMCU is fighting for the living wage. The government is coming with a minimum wage. What a contradiction. We will fight for the living wage. We are not going to rest. In conclusion, Comrade Ekgqibeleni, for this massacre to be in the minds of the people is due to the steadfastness of AMCU commemorating it. It could have been long forgotten otherwise. Ngabe kade kwakhohlwa ukube iAMCU ayithethi ngalelanga. Sithi, comrade, akekho umuntu ozosenzela. Thina abantu abampisholo masihlanganeni. Masingezwe ukuthi khona umuntu orape umuntu. Nathi silahla isidima sethu. How can we rape? Uhlulwa yini ukushela shimane ndini? In this country, we need a Sharia, what is it? Sharia law. We want a Sharia law in this country. Once you rape, we cut your penis. Once you steal, we cut your hand. You just cut few of the penis, you see. The issue of rape will be forgotten. There will be no rape anymore. And to do this, nina bomama nibaningi ukudlula thina madoda eSouth Africa. Nihlulwa yini ukuvula your own party and put your own president and put your own laws to deal ngalezi shimane ezirapayo. Le country ayidingi into eningi, ifuna just a president with a compassion. Angeke ukhonza amakhosi amabili. Ngeke ukhonza imali ngapha ukhonza abantu. Ukube bendikhonza imali ngaba ukho la ukhona. Eyami mandate iphuma apha. I think many people have ever stayed where they are. It's time we South Africans to wake up. The country is rich. Nkulunkulu has blessed us with weather. This thing of privatizing the SOEs, lokho kuthiwa state-owned enterprises, are the low-hanging fruit for job creation and for employment. The Nationalist Party, the government, the Nationalist Party, beyikwazi to put the struggle and the revolution at bay because abantu bebasebenza. Because bekunamaphoyisa kamjantshi, angithi? Bekuno railway, angithi? Bekunamabhasi kamjantshi, angithi? Zonke lezo zinto bezenza imisebenzi. Uma kungenzeka lokho imisebenzi ngavuka eSouth Africa. Conscription. The nationalist government, mawuphasa uStandard 10, boshona emasojeni. Namanje I challenge Babu Olomisa, go to parliament to say every matriculant must go for conscription. Bazofunda good values, good skills, and how to love their country. That will give time for the government to create more jobs. And we need soldiers. We need proper policing in this country. If you can open a conscription, I'm just giving you a manifesto free of charge. Those are deliverables that are we can achieve easily. So, lezo zinto lezo ukuthi mawuqeda uStandard 10, yiswe emasotsheni ubhatalwe igovernment. Utrainwe. And then another thing ekufanele siyenze, how to reset this country. I give them free of charge, wisdom, because they cannot learn this from the university. This is only from God. How to reset this country? How to, umbuzo omkhulu loyo ukuthi, how to reset this country? This country irana nge-constitution more like America, constitutional democracy. I need to check my facts from the scholars. So it's a constitutional democracy. And then umubheki America. I-America That's why bayibiza ukuthi it's a United States of America. That means there are states, different states in America. So in apartheid, we were saying provinces. If maybe the politician, they don't like the name provinces, just say states. And we create what? South African states. And then what is good with these South African states? Each state can decide their own laws. Like for instance, Limpopo does not need Pretoria. Limpopo is rich, it's got chrome, it's got agriculture. They can maintain themselves. They can have their own governor, themselves. And they just pay a little tax, maybe to union building. They can put their own laws. KZN, they don't need Pretoria. They don't need Johannesburg. They've got mines. They've got gas. They've got harbors. Every province, a state that is delivering, or they are getting their goods from the harbors, they are paying the KZN states. You go to Eastern Cape, we've got the same. You go to Cape Town. I'm telling you, this is how we can reset this country. Under these circumstances, we are not going to be able to reset. That's why there will be a lot of corruption. You will be closed. Let me make an example. We've got 1 billion rand supposedly sitting in Union Building. But we had floods in KZN. But even 1 million hasn't been paid to the victim. The people are still staying in the halls after how many months the flood has occurred. But if it was a state of KZN, that 1 billion could have been paid to the governor in the state of KZN. Simple as that. We are close to the people. You know what the people want, and the people, they will tell you what they want. Not think for the people. I give you this takeaway for you to think about it. It's not an apartheid. It's not an apartheid state. They are lying to us. Why in America we still got United States? You go to different states, they've got different laws. There are states where they've got a punitive punishment. They've got a hang pile, they still kill you. In other states, no, it's free. Other states, they allow certain rules. In other states, they don't. Why in South Africa? It's because they want to confuse us to hold to power without delivering to us. Let's bring dignity to us. Amandla! Mayibuye Africa, mayibuye! Qina msebenzi, qina! Awaphuma makhehle parliament makaphume. Abaphuma bogoge parliament abaphume. Akungena ulusha parliament, akungena ulusha. Sendigcina kuni. Le country yaku austerity. Le country ayina mali iphila ngomashonisa. And they are wasting future yabantwana bethu. They are always borrowing. And this thing, yokuba unongqawuse, the state president say penduke unongqawuse. Uthi let us close all the ESCOM fire-powered station because there is new, what they call it, independent power producer. Kuthiwa kuvalwa ama-ESCOM, angithi? Kuvalwa izimines zamalahle, angithi? Kodwa eGerman basasebenzisa amalahle. Kodwa e-US basasebenzisa amalahle. Kuthiwa kuzokwakhiwa izinto ezosebenza ngelanga. Ndithi utata uCyril Ramaphosa unongqawuse wangesikhathi sethu. Owathi makuchiswa amasimu kuzoba khona ukutya. Uthi masivala ama-power station kuzoba nombane ezweni. Who's controlling the weather? The weather is not controlled by the West. The weather is not controlled by the European. The weather is controlled by God. If God can decide, there must be no wind, there must be no sun. Sizoba kuphi? Ingakho ndithi uSitatu Ramaphosa unongqawuse of our century. Comrade, remember, siya kuma wage negotiations. We are not going to compromise. We want the dignity of black mine workers. And enye into ekufanele ndiyichaze kwi-gold sector kukhona abadidekile abasibona sisebenza ne-NUM. The only way yokushaya umqashi kwakufanele siyilethe i-NUM close to us. And I must thank Comrade Daniel, the president of NUM, and nesigqeba sakhe, because mandithethisana nabo bayibona lento ukuthi umanyano singakwazi ukuthi simshaye umqashi. No matter they were under severe pressure politically, but they maintained the position. That's why lesa strike is successful, noma sasinzima, because I managed to bring them closer and we fight it up late. Comrade, we need to fight for the unity of the working class. This leadership of NUM currently, we need to sikhulumisane nayo, iyayibona indlela, iyayibona unity ukuthi is power, iyabona ukuthi uFroneman singamnqoba, iyabona ukuthi white monopoly capital singayinqoba. The only thing we have to take it bit by bit. But yes, comrade, don't be confused. AMCU is still AMCU, but it was so important for the unity of these two unions in the gold sector. As women, we are saying to them, comrade, if there is any commonality to fight with the enemy, which is the white monopoly capital, we won't lose anything except the chains of oppression. Amandla! Mayibuye AMCU, mayibuye! Qina member AMCU, qina! Amandla, mayibuye Africa, siyabonga, comrade.